All right. Welcome to the Perfectly Sane Show, episode 704. I am Chris, as always, joined by Tony.
I too am an Xbox.
Good. Glad you are also an Xbox, Tony. Earl is here.
And I am so happy that we voted for Twitter to be president.
And Jeff as well.
I'm a Switch.
That has so many
Yeah, but
different meanings.
that doesn't work.
Mm,
That doesn't work as well.
I have no idea. Well, I don't know
It
where
could
we're.
work, but I don't. I mean, what Jeff does in his free time, we can't.
No,
judge.
the Xbox thing is from Microsoft's
Insert
new
their ad.
campaign. Yeah.
Oh, I know where it's from. I'm just saying, like
I don't.
Jeff being a Switch
Yeah.
could be very different things.
Oh, Jeff, you have not seen any of the advertising,
So they
Xbox-
showed this ad during the Game Awards, which I think for a lot of Microsoft been running this campaign for about a month now.
Yeah.
But this was the first time a lot of people had actually seen it. And it was like Microsoft's new initiative is that you can any device is an Xbox. So
Oh yeah.
they showed off this commercial where a bunch of random stuff was an Xbox.
Yeah. No, I remember now.
Yeah. And
It's
people
all
are really
bad.
upset. They're like, "Oh, they're abandoning the brand." Blah 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 blah.
No, it's kind of been their.
complain.
Hasn't it been their thing for a while?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, they've been
not
trending
right.
in this direction for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I will continue to buy the actual box because that's who I am. But that you could play in other ways.
I'm at the point now where I play almost all my Xbox games on PC because that's an easier platform for me. It's just it works out better for me, and it's kind of nice that I can get these games on one thing and play I can play indie on my PC. It's very nice.
Granted, is indie also not just also on PC?
So indie actually is a PC game first. It was ported to Xbox.
Okay.
That was probably a bad example to start with.
I was gonna say.
But yes, but it's on both. Tony doesn't have to stream it or.
No,
That's
I
right.
get that. But I was like, oh no, I think it's also just, yeah. But yes, it is. I mean, in the end, when they ran this marketing campaign, initially we talked about it because it's very much, I think something we've been saying for years and years here. It's like that has been their MO really in this generation in particular, is that they are not the everything system, but the everywhere system.
Yes.
Yes. Or I guess the everywhere platform. Like you could play it everywhere because their stuff's going to be coming to PlayStation as well. That they should really do that. I bet they would have to get Sony approval, but when indie comes there, this is an Xbox and show PlayStation 5.
Oh God. They'd have to stop making Xboxes, I think, before Sony would allow that one.
Would just be a complete meltdown by the internet. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Everybody is an Xbox, everything is an Xbox. Except our site, which crashed over the weekend.
It's because we weren't running on an Xbox.
Yeah, we should have been running on an Xbox. Catastrophic failure, database malfunction. And yeah, so all of our 15 years of posts gone. So that was cool to kind of wake up to. It started with I could not. Go ahead. Jeff.
No, I was just gonna say, how many times I've just lost everything, and I just have to be like,
oh well.
Yeah. Well,
recent example, Facebook. I just lost anything
on, yes.
2008 on, and it's moving on.
So I texted Jeff and was like, "Hey, something's wrong with the site," and he's like, "It seems all right for me." He could access it, and that's the thing. You could access the site, but couldn't post anything new. Anytime I tried to add an image file or tried to update the site, it would just be it would give a 500 error.
Mm.
So I got on, tech support from the hosting company, and they were like, "That's good," kind of like Jeff was. Like, we can see it. Took a screenshot, like, your site's up. It's good. Like, yeah, but I can't do anything. They're like, oh. So then it was like another half hour of them like kind of fucking around and like, try it now, and like that didn't work either. And I was like, all right, can we like uninstall WordPress and then maybe like restore it from a backup? They're like, we could try. And so they uninstalled WordPress. The database was just gone.
Oh no.
So we have the database of all the recordings that are uploaded. All that's there, but the posts and images were all lost. So I'm gonna have to upload everything. Not upload, like just repost everything so it's all back on the website. And that's going to take a while because that would all be manual.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll see how fast I get to that. But the podcasts are fine. They're going to hit the feeds as normal. That took a little bit of work to reconfigure because I think Jeff and I have been doing. We've been doing recurring nightmares for over 5 years now, Jeff.
Oh God, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think VG Club that Paul does, I think is like now at 4 years. So the last time I had set up a new podcast feed was when we started recurring nightmares, and I could not remember how to do. I remembered how like I broke it down, and here's the category I select so that it goes to the right feed. I just could not remember how to create the feed. So that took about 2.5 hours to recreate the podcast feeds, but everything's good again. There's a post on there. It's like, what the fuck happened to the site? Because I put that up because I didn't know how long it was going to take to fix the feeds, but we're good. We're back. So
You just can't read anything.
Yes.
And none of you like to read anyway, so it's fine.
I may be able to recover some of that through like the Internet Archive, but I'm not sure like what the value is and pulling some
my review of an obscure strategy game from 12 years ago. Yeah.
Right. Like is somebody going to come back and read? And sometimes they do. Like sometimes we do get weird hits on stuff that we posted a decade ago. But I'm just not sure like how much value there is in recreating all that, because it's all going to be it would have to be like copied from the Internet Archive, reposted. We'll see. I will get the Hall of Fame up. Speaking of Hall of Fame, Earl, you had an idea for
next year.
Maybe next year's approach to the Hall of Fame.
Or at least one of them. Like we could do. I think it would be fun to do like one that's kind of like, we did a tournament, a March Madness one, I think not this year, last year.
A couple years ago, yeah.
And then my idea, because I think now we're going to get into an era where we can actually do this properly, is like to do like 10, 20, 30. So like mini brackets of 85, 95, and 2005 games. Because we couldn't do like 84. There wasn't a ton of games back then. But now we can.
Yeah, that sounds fun. We could we'll set that up for sometime early next year. And like, so you mean like we'd set up kind of a bracket of games from 85, or we'd mix all the games from 85, 95, and 2005 together?
Yeah, and then they pick one of those to kind of be like the decade-ish.
Okay, yeah. Well, we should start coming up with games to seed there to fill out those brackets. Yeah, so let's. Have you guys done anything, played anything, watched anything? I say watched because I did watch some video game content on Amazon Prime. We'll get to that shortly. But did you guys do anything this week?
Yeah,
I played a lot of Path of Exile 2. Lot of Path of Exile 2.
How is that?
I mean, I talked about it last week. Probably was not coherent at all about it, but
You seem to like it.
yes, I have
It
more.
sounds really hard from what you were saying.
Yeah, well, it was weird. By the time I talked to you guys last week, I thought it was like it's challenging in a way that is like a huge positive for the game because like for anyone who ever thought like Diablo 4 was boring, this is the answer to that. And I know there's people on this podcast who think that this is like, hey, it's not boring because you have to like really engage with everything. Like you have to really think about the stats that you're putting on your gear and whatnot. Like you could be losing a boss fight because you don't have enough cold resistance. And so you get to be like, well, did I have a ring somewhere in my stash that gives me like an extra bump and cold resistance? You have to learn the bosses. Like you have to you're not just gonna walk in there and steamroll them like you would in Diablo, especially Diablo. I'd say Diablo 3 is the worst of this.
But can you over level and then steamroll?
You can over level, and a boss that seemed very hard is now very doable. And so you might die when they have like a sliver of health left, but then you're like, all right, I know I got this if I keep at it. It's basically like that. Until after after we recorded that last week, I finally, like a day or two after we recorded, got a message from Sean saying like, man, the boss at the end of Act 1 is fucking me in the back of a Volkswagen. And I was like, is that a good thing? I was like, is that a good thing?
Sean hasn't been laid in a while. We don't know. I mean, maybe
I don't know.
He's after.
Could be fun. Sounds like could be fun. And he's like, it's very uncomfortable. I can tell you that. Anyways, I'm playing along, and like there are bosses that are pretty hard. Like right before the Act 1 big boss, there's a boss called the Executioner, and every once in a while he'll say guillotine, and a huge guillotine drops from the sky. Like you'll see like it's kind of a big circle on the ground. If you're standing in that circle and that's where the guillotine falls, when it falls, you're not going to live. It doesn't matter how much life you have. It is a one-shot death. And even that, I was like, after a couple tries, I got the feel of them down. I was like, no problem. Then I got to the Act 1 boss, and holy shit, is the Act 1 boss fucking unreal hard. Like, oh my god, dude. It just goes on and on and on. And he starts doing, like, he has two forms. He like goes from like human knight to like turning into a wolf. They each have their own health bar. Then part of the way, like, pretty deep into the fight, all of a sudden it's like, I am just the wolf now, and I have a full new health bar. And that's what he starts doing, is like real crazy fucking attacks. And man, is it like, I like finally messaged Sean when I got to him. I was like, holy shit, dude. I tried him a few times. I was like, I think I'm fucked. And he's like, I finally got past him, blah, blah, blah. He does this thing late in the fight where he's like dropping, like, it looks like a bunch of like beams of light from the sky, like these blue beams all over. And when they hit the ground, it's basically cold damage. But if they hit you, they'll knock out most, if not all, of your health. Then you're frozen in place, and he drops these beams like 4 or 5 in a row, like like a different layout will like come out across the map. So like once you're frozen, he drops the beams again. The second beam hits you. If the first one didn't kill you, the second one's going to kill you, and you can't move because you're frozen. It's just like, it was the kiss of death for me every time. I would get him like 3/4 of the way dead. He'd start doing this, and one time I would like misstep, get hit by a beam. It was fucking game over. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. It's over, all right? But Sean was kind enough to offer to help me. And he came into my game, and we fought the boss for like an hour and a half. There was like 2 times he got the boss to where like if he hit the boss one more time, it would have died. Meanwhile, me, when I was playing with Sean, every time the guy would start doing the beams, like literally like the first time he would do the beams, I would die. I was useless when we got to that point. And Sean, even though there's like very little opening to like run over and revive me, he did it like once or twice, like actually get to revive me. Time he revived me, and right, like literally the second he revived me, a blue beam hit me, and I fucking died. Like I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I just kept telling him, I feel
That doesn't
so.
sound like your fault. He just timed that so badly. That's Sean's fault. Right?
So what?
It's
what
so
happened
there's
with-
like so in order to revive someone, it takes like a full 10 seconds, if not like a little long. It takes like just too long because there's no opening. Like especially the boss like that, he's so aggressive and so running around. I think what Sean would do is he could on him until he either froze him or he stunned him, and then he would immediately run over to me and like just barely, once or twice he would bring me back. I finally like was like, I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time. Like I'm literally like holding you back on this, and I'm just like, we'll try again tomorrow. The next day, I went and ran around. I leveled up once. That gave me more cold resistance. I said, Sean, let's go. We beat him the first try. And, well, near the very end of the fight, he starts dropping different beams from the sky that do like chaos damage. And those are like, have a way wider, hit effect or whatever, hitbox. And they got me. So, but like, by the time the boss killed me, Sean only had like a little bit of work to do to kill him, and like he wiped him out. And now I'm in Act 2, and yeah, the bosses are hard now. So like I like I was telling Chris some of the stuff, and he's like, "This does not sound
Fun?
good."
Yes, it does not sound fun.
Because that's my thought right now. It's like none of this sounds enjoyable.
I don't know. It is. It takes a genre I already loved, and to me, makes it so much more engaging because you're
it
really
gets
thinking
bad,
about
feel
what
like
you have
an
to do.
But you're a sicko. That's why.
No, I mean,
I have to say, it makes it Dark Souls for you.
I mean, some of the bosses I would compare it to that, but
So for me, and I don't know how you play these games, Earl, but generally I play Diablo or Torchlight or Titan Quest or like something like that. It's just like a game to kind of chill with. So having to like, really grind and get specific loot and then just be demoralized over and over again, that does not sound appealing.
Yeah, exactly.
you get demoralized over and over again, but then you get moralized on the back end of that. You get like,
I get
vindicated.
I play these games the same way I play a Dynasty Warrior game. I just want to go and wreck stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to go in and like.
Well, I mean, you could do that. You could play Diablo 4 on normal, and you'll never be challenged. But I think you'll be bored. I think like a lot of people would be bored. I like Diablo 4. I'm not trying to trash Diablo 4, but I'm saying like,
Sounds like you are.
well, because I will still always like Diablo. I'll play Diablo 5, but going from that to this, I'm like, man, they solved it. Like this combat feels like it matters. You're not just.
I think they solved it for what you're looking for now, Jeff. I think Diablo, though, has always been solved. Like, there's a reason it's as popular as it was. It was never because of the challenge.
Dude, I was the only, I think it's the only one on this podcast defending Diablo 4, so, it's getting something wrong. And it got a lot of negative reaction.
I mean, and again, I would also point out, like, it's very different for me. I play these games, Torchlight, Diablo, even the original Path of Exile for the same reason. I just play with a bunch of friends, which is also very different because with the combination of people, it's usually easier to wreck mobs because you tend to have all types of bases covered. So, again, the challenge could be worth it. I just don't know if it's. I'd be curious when it comes to like Xbox or Game Pass or whatever.
It's going to be a free game, so y'all get to try it. I
See?
would guess it'll be a free game like a year from now, and it might be a different game. And in fact, I think that it's going to be a different game. They've already updated the game a bunch since it's come out. Like they are almost daily doing updates, and you know, one significant thing they did I thought was huge. Early on, you could only fast travel between waypoints. So you would have, like, if you want to fast travel, you have to go to a waypoint, stand on it, press A, and then it brings up the map, and you can choose the other waypoints.
That's pretty
But
standard.
But within a map, there's checkpoints. So, like, let's say you walk inside of a dungeon, there's like a little checkpoint inside the dungeon, and then there's like another checkpoint right before you like enter a boss arena. Well, they added now you could fast travel between the checkpoints as well, which sounds small, but it's actually like a really nice convenience that they added on top. And so there's just like little things like that all the time. But like a lot of things I see them saying, they're like, we noticed that like this is too overpowered, so we're nerfing it. And it's like, no. Like I opportunity, I think, to make the bosses slightly more fair, because I just ran into this with a boss I actually just beat like minutes before this podcast, where he had this like giant flamethrower that he like uses, and it does massive damage, and I was able to mitigate that by putting on a bunch of fire damage, or fire resistant gear. But then every once in a while he gets bored and starts chasing you around the arena and swinging his fucking flamethrower at you, like melee attacking you, and that melee attack will fucking kill you. And I'm just like, and it just feels a little cheap. Like it's just like, okay. Eventually he hit me once when I had a completely full health bar, and it left like this tiniest sliver. I was like, okay, maybe my stats just need to be up. But it just feels like the bosses shouldn't have moves that do like all the one-shot death stuff. I think it feels cheap, because like the bosses are already challenging. It's just like you're doing good, you slip up one little thing.
Yeah, like
and,
one shots are gonna turn
Yeah.
off like anybody that's coming to it casually. Like if you
Yeah.
To their credit, I don't think they want to beat a casual game.
No, but if you're the free to play
I think it
game
feels
that
unfair,
like
though.
is trying to pull people in, and
Yeah.
you're like, people are just gonna be like, no.
It's like,
Again,
From Software games, for as hard as it could be, they don't have like rules where, oh, it's a one-shot death no matter what. It's like, no, they do a lot of damage with a certain thing. Maybe you need to like adjust for that. But like,
yeah.
and maybe that's what's happened here. I eventually just,
I mean, it is early access, so
yeah. So it could be a different looking game. And
how many
I
acts are in early access, Jeff?
I don't know. I think it is like the full game. It's just they're adjusting the hell out of it. I would imagine. I don't know how many. I guess I won't even guess how many.
There's supposed to be 6 acts.
Oh wow,
total.
that's a big like. All right, so like I have put in a lot of time in this game, and I'm in Act 2, so that's really cool. Like again, man, like I just think if you love this genre, you owe it to yourself to try it, because I think taking away whatever you want to say about the difficulty, like I think the combat feels really good. It's like really cool things. Like I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but like I could lay down like a wall of fire.
All right, so there's 6 acts in the full game. Early access has 3 acts.
That's right. I had read that. That's right. So I plan to even add to the, so it is not fully complete, I guess, yet. But, and I don't know when those other acts are coming, but man, like, even like, let's just say like the 3 that are there right now, that's a huge game with a lot of, gameplay to it.
The meat on the bones.
Yeah.
But it's worth trying beyond just for the difficulty, because one, I think the combat feels really good. I was gonna say you could like, you could lay down a wall of fire. That's like one of my spells. It's wall of flame. But if I shoot my wand, which I have like lightning damage with, the lightning could go through the fire, and then it's lightning and fire combined flying around the arena. And so you're doing like 2 damage at once. It looks really cool. Like, that's the other thing. The graphics on this game, I think, are better. Like, that's the other thing that's like crazy about this. I think it's a better game than Diablo 4. It's a better looking game. And it's going to be free to play. Like, that's like putting fucking Activision and Blizzard on notice, dude. Like, dude, they outdid you at your own game, and it's gonna be fucking free. And even if you want to play it now, it's $30 as opposed to, what's Diablo with the DLC? It's like over $100. Like, it's kind of wild to me that like I find this to be way more compelling, and it's free or will be free once it's complete.
So
and it looks great. It looks incredible.
Can you explain the level tree or whatever you would
That's
call
the
it?
other thing. The skill tree is just massive.
Yeah, that's a problem for me. Like, that was the problem with the first one. Is it's too
really
big. Yeah, it's like way too complex. Like, and I think Earl, you mentioned it. Like, it's a game you almost need like a build guide for.
Yeah, yes.
I think they might have solved some of that.
But because go on.
I think they may have solved some of that because although it is a massive skill tree, it's interesting because every single class, and I think there's like 6 classes, all have the same skill tree. But depending on which class you like, it starts from like a center, like a circle at the center, right? And there's all these branching pathways that go out in every direction. So no matter what class you have, you're going to have that skill tree. But if you choose like a warrior, it makes you start going in one direction on the skill tree that's designed for the warrior. So you'll be starting with like adding damage to physical attacks and adding armor, and like the tree comes out that way. Like, let's say, that direction starts on the left side of the circle, and you build out from there. Now, you could eventually get the things that are like intended for other classes, but you have to build your way all the way around this massive skill tree. Am I making any sense? Does this like make any sense? Like, you start from the center, but depending on your class, you have to work out a different way from the center.
Yes.
And it's fairly straightforward. It's like, I'm going along as this witch, and I'm like, and the witch is kind of like a necromancer. And I'm like, okay, I'm upgrading my spell damage, and I'm upgrading what my minions, what their damage does, like I'm just kind of focusing on that. So that's what I'm playing solo, and I'm playing the game as well with my wife. And in that game, I'm a warrior, and she is a sorceress. And like, yeah, I'm all like, I like really focus on just doing damage at first. Now I'm focusing on building up my armor. Another interesting thing too is no matter what class you like, so my warrior can do like several spells that my witch can do, because you just pick up these gems that give you the skill. And so like, you don't need to have any specific stats or anything to like my warrior does wall of fire. Like, it's now on the skill tree, I'm not really building anything that helps that as much, but you can upgrade the spell itself through finding like support gems that upgrade the spell. So it's like interesting. Like, yeah, you start like, there's some very distinct classes, but like pretty much my witch can do everything that my wife can do as a sorceress, except my witch also has a fucking army I'm rolling with. I don't know. That's the other thing I think is really interesting. Like, I think if like you're into the genre, I think the skill tree, the way you build your character, and all that is like, I don't find it. Again, I did try Path of Exile 1, and I found it overwhelming. Just the first time you see that fucking skill tree, it's like, oh my god. And this is the same thing. When you first see it, you're like, oh my god. But as you start playing through it and start progressing, it's like fairly straightforward. Like, one, you'll only have like a couple directions you could go at first, and I want this. I want to be able to do more damage or whatever. But then it's also, beyond the skill tree, how you build your character out in terms of the gems you get and stuff. I just find like the progression like system in it really fucking awesome. I didn't play enough of Path of Exile 1 to say, oh, this is a huge improvement or whatever, but I could say I find it to be really interesting and yeah, more interesting than fucking Diablo for sure. It makes Diablo feel like very rigid in comparison. I don't know, man. I fucking love it. I'm obsessed with it despite like, you know, already twice in Act 2, I've run into bosses that I found to be pretty hard and it took me a few tries, but I get past it and I'm like, hell yeah, let's see what else is next. Like, I don't know. I think it's super compelling ARPG shit, dude. Like, if you're into the genre, you gotta try it. And when it's free, why not? You know?
Yeah, once it's free, I guess there's no real reason to like not try it. I'm not gonna drop $30 on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially when it'll be free when it's done.
Right.
But
and
you know, a better game and more X. I forgot that I had read that. Oh, it's 3 now and 3 are coming. I wonder how long we're supposed to wait for the second 3. I don't know. By the time I get
when it's fully released is when they'll drop those other 3. They don't want people. Yeah, they're not going to want people in a game that is going to be free to play and live service. They're not going to want you having finished it when they hit 1.0.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, as it is with the 3 acts, I will get probably 100+ hours out of it because I'm playing 2 different games at once right now, and I wouldn't mind trying the other classes too. So, yeah, it's dude, it was a good purchase for me. Ask Sean; he'll tell you.
Earl, you said you had played something this week.
Yes. So, I played 2 things ish. The first one is brand new, ish. It was on PlayStation Plus, and my friend asked me to pick it up, and I got my PlayStation Plus because he wanted to try it. Death Note Killer Within. So I don't know if any of you are anime fans.
I know Death. I've never seen it, but I know it. There was a movie.
Yes, the Netflix movie with.
I saw it.
It's a ton of fun. People hate it because it's not true, but they're all having the time of their life. That's a different conversation. It's the kind
Death
of
Note movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
See, Jeff is hating.
I'm not hating. I don't really remember it. I don't remember like.
Damn it, Jeff! You're such a hater.
I don't remember thinking it was a ton of fun. I remember thinking it was kind of.
Kind of. It was very cheesy and over the top. It's my type of peanut butter but yeah, so Death Note Killer Within is an Among Us type game. So it's kind of one of those hidden roles. You go around doing tasks, and you're trying to suss out who may be guilty, who may not be. The big gimmick here is it's more of an investigation. So you have 2 teams. You have the good guys and the bad guys. The good guys can run around, doing tasks, doing chores, helping solve crimes, and and being observant and stuff like that. The bad guys, you have to pick IDs, so you have to get close because you can't write anybody's name in a death note if you don't know their name. So in order to get people's names in this game, you have to steal their ID, and if you steal their ID, you then there's a team. So one person is, I'm sure, I don't know. I think it's L, or whoever is the holder of the death note can write the name. So you might have a team of 3, so 2 people can go steal the IDs. They have to then go find this person to get them the ID so they can write in a death note. And if you use the death note, if you take it out in public, people can, so you have to find a time to do all this without people on your case. And when you write their name in the death note, it takes over and it kills them, and people can find your body and stuff like that. Like if somebody steals your ID or somebody gets close enough to steal your ID, you can note it in your book. It's like when you die, somebody can get your note and be like, oh, I was in contact with X, Y, and Z. So it would put them on suspicion because they were, near you, and somehow somebody found your name. So it can only be you or something like that. Again, I was not great. It was my first time actually using the PlayStation 5 in that capacity. Did not realize that the controller had a built-in mic. Did not realize it had a built-in mute function. So that was very fun because I was
That's great.
yeah. So I was the old man in the game the first time. People were like, "Why is he telling his strategy?" I'm like, "Oh God, am I telling my strategy?" Um, I figured it out, but the game is fun. I mean, I don't know how much it actually is. I don't. I mean, if it wasn't on PlayStation Plus, I probably.
It's
Oh,
$10, and it's currently $7.50 on Steam.
okay. And one thing, because you are, I mean, I guess save money. You're essentially pawns, like you are little figures, and they have the creepiest eyes, like these big bug eyes that they zoom in on. It's so weird. It's so very weird looking. I like
Cool.
they have aesthetics. I'm like, oh no, this is just creepy again. But yeah, it's fun. Again, I would probably pay like, a couple of rounds a night. Not a game I'm gonna like, go out of my way to tell people to check out. But if you
Yeah.
want to, if you're tired of Among Us, want to try something slightly different.
And you said it's part of PlayStation Plus?
I think it was. I think
Oh,
it
okay.
might have been over at the start of the month. I don't know. And then the other game I talked about last week was the Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now I'm close to the 20 hours into the game. Um, Overall, I'm enjoying my experience, but I don't. Am I 20 hours? I don't know. But I feel like they are really, really, really show walking the game. I am. I can't even say dungeons because like nothing in the game is that big. Like the game setup is that you are transported to a different dimension for a land called Concordia, and in order to like, you go to the little islands and you do the islands and you pull them back together so you can kind of reform the sand mass or whatever. But like so many of them are maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, or maybe it just seems that way because the first time you go there, part of the island's always going to be cut off because you have to go get the plug, which is kind of the power source of the island, and pull that, and that's how you reconnect it. And then some bulbs open up and stuff like that. So it's usually like a mad dash there, but then there's a lot of talking in between. And yeah, and then I think, it took me about 8 or 9 hours to get my first brother's attack, which is kind of the series' big kind of like special moves. It's been there since day one. There's always a move that uses Mario and Luigi's in some combination. I think the same one's always the first one, which is the Bro Shell, which is Mario kicks a red shell, Luigi kicks a green shell. It does damage, whatever. And then I think maybe hour 12 or 13, you get the other big part of the battle system, which is the new one for this game, battle plugs, which are modifiers for your battle combat style, which is I actually do like the system. But I'm like, oh, and then you get bro traversal moves. I forget what they're actually called, but like Mario and Luigi can turn into a UFO to kill his gas. It can turn into a ball to get into small holes. I just got the second one of those, maybe within the last hour and a half of playing the game. Like you folks are really just like doling this stuff out at the slowest rate possible. Um, that said, I like the animation. I think the animation style is really great. And the combat still remains very fun and engaging. So I'm sticking with it for that. But like the game feels very slow and frustrating at times because I'm like, just kind of give me stuff and open it up, not this whole we're gonna really, really make sure you're in these fundamentals so that we can introduce something new to you like 2 hours later. So yeah.
Cool. Tony, you play anything this week?
Not a ton of stuff. I was traveling this weekend. I did play more indie,
Me too.
which I'm still really enjoying. Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff,
I,
did you stop playing it?
Did you
I
stop playing?
did. I did. I did because it's hard to play that when you're like addicted to a game that is just like so
Yeah.
purely like gameplay. Like I don't know, like indie is like a whole different mood. It's a whole different type of game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. I kind of like how relaxed it is. Like
yeah.
it's clearly an adventure game. Like if this game had been made 20 years ago, it would literally be a point and click adventure game.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like it's like putting that type of game into a first person Indiana Jones movie. I
they
don't
have some stuff like thrown into it. Like the combat's kind of weird. Doesn't really make sense. There's been some times where like I've wandered into buildings and like beaten everyone up. I wasn't supposed to be in that building yet, and then I come later. And I'm able to easily escape from a place that I wasn't supposed to be able to because I've beaten up all the enemies already.
Did I talk about this last week? That I felt like the stealth in it is like really inconsequential. Like you can just like ignore it. Like like they'll notice you. You turn a corner and just like that's it. It's like okay.
They like remember you were they remember you were there, but they don't pursue you. They like
it is
give
such soft. Like it is like again, I would go through whole areas. They're like, this is a restricted area, and I'm just fucking waltzing through the area, like not giving a fuck. If someone notices me,
like,
I'll throw something at them. Like fuck
but
you.
Like,
or
that's
punch them to death.
that's kind of the point, though. It's not that kind of game. Like it's not Assassin's Creed, right? It's not like a game where you're wandering through an open world in a combat sense. Like you're just moving from point to point, like having these cool adventure things, solving puzzles, and like it's supposed to be chill.
And maybe a Nazi sees you and you punch him.
Yeah, that's what this game is. It's not going to be like
but it's
a great combat simulator, and you're trying to like impose something over it that isn't that. Like it's not. Yes, you are a little bit.
No,
yeah.
it is.
You're trying to force it to be something that it's not. Like that's.
I'm not trying to. No, it is. It is. There are stealth areas in that game. There's a restricted area. You have to be stealthy, and I guarantee you.
No. But it's not. You're like you're going with like what you personally conceive to be stealth is. Where you have to remember that this game is making you be Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones stealth. Which is a completely different experience.
Yeah, which is like comical stealth almost, like because like he's always knocking something over and getting caught, and
it's stupid and it's dumb and it's fun, and that's kind of.
I guarantee you, there are people out there playing the stealth sections with the utmost like they're trying to do it right, not realizing it doesn't fucking matter. Because like you could just fucking like just
though, Jeff.
I
think we learned in November. There's a lot of really dumb people out there.
No, I don't think that's dumb. I think it's like taking the game on its word, and I think that the stealth is just poorly done. I just think it's just like, why even do it like that then? Just make it like you just don't want to make it stealth at all. Make it just okay, you kill the guy. But like they don't have it doesn't have good action, so
you're not supposed to be mass murderer Indiana Jones, right? Like
I'd be better.
No, it wouldn't though. Like that would be Uncharted at that point.
Yes.
It'd be Wolfenstein. Make it Wolfenstein.
But that's not indie.
That's not what you're playing.
Like Indiana Jones doesn't kill everybody. Like yeah, he'll get in some fist fights. He'll maybe shoot a couple people, but he's not gonna he doesn't go through like murdering whole battalions of Nazis and Mussolini soldiers and
I would just argue that I don't think the combat encounters in this game are any good at all. I think that the strengths of the game are like the adventuring aspects of it. And again, I have kept that on my hard drive because I'm like, you know what? When I'm done with Path of Exile, I'd like to give it a more fair shot. I got through the whole, what the fuck is it called? Like the mummy cat mission?
The cat mummy, yes.
Yeah, which fucking went on forever. It felt like an entire game.
It really does. Like, so you spent like 12 hours at the Vatican. I've spent 12 hours playing the game, and I'm on the final section and I've done everything.
Okay.
Like, I've done all the side missions. The only thing I haven't done are the mysteries, which are like...
Tony. Is Tony past the cat mummy?
Oh, God, no, I'm still in the cat mummy.
Okay,
things.
see, the cat mummy's fucking long, Chris. It's fucking long.
Tony
It's
hasn't
long.
played either, though.
I've only
Huh?
played the game for 4 hours though, so let's not like.
Okay, but that's one mission, dude. That's really long to be in one mission.
But it's the act. That's not the mission. That's the act.
Yes.
Like there's a bunch of like submissions within the cat mummy. The cat mummy is not it's not like a level. It is like that is the act. When that is over, you then move on to Giza in Egypt. And so and then that starts a whole thing. That there are submissions within that, but that is the act. That's the arc for that one.
It was long.
There are missions in the Vatican. There are submissions. I think they're called field work.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yes.
I'm just saying, just the cat mummy, which is a quest. It's long,
it's
dude.
The main quest. Like you're supposed to do a bunch of different things in it. Like you're supposed to
pretty
go
fucking long.
Well, I mean, part of it too is like it's like teaching you the relationship between the quests and like these other things that aren't quests.
Yeah, but you
'Cause
don't
it's
have to.
definitely-
You don't have to. There was like a boxing match thing that I didn't engage with because I was just like,
that's
okay,
completely off. Like that's not.
It's a side mission. The main
It's not
mission.
even a side mission. That's not even like it is just like a side activity you can do. It's not a side quest. It's not like
Well, you need to get a disguise to get in there and this and that.
If you go right, like there are things you can do like that are outside of that, but there are like there's your main quest and there's like a bunch of different
subset things that like you're doing to in the service of that. Great. I'm just saying it's
exactly.
so long, dude. It's just like I felt like I was in the Vatican for fucking ever. And like Tony said, he's played 4 hours. I was at least 4 hours in the fucking Vatican. And I found the Vatican to be like really large and confusing to get.
Then I hate Giza. Like,
yeah,
because I was the fucking desert.
Well, it was crazy though because like I had been over parts of the Vatican so many times but it still was like I don't know where I am. Like I'm just like following the little map showing me where to go.
Well, you can also hit the little arrows though to fly.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like I'm just saying, like you would think that having like backtracked over every portion of this map, like
that you would have learned it.
That I would learn it, but it's just so large that I was just like, oh my god. And I'm not saying that's a negative or positive. I found that place like daunting to like wrap your head around.
I do think you may enjoy. So after you get through Giza, you'll end up in the Himalayas, and that is a more straightforward level. There's no side stuff. Like it is, you're gonna like move through the level like you would a normal video game. It's not this big open area, and then so is the next one after that. Then from there, it then gives you the third hub area. But like there are like certain areas that are more straightforward.
So you said you're at the end. So it goes Vatican, Giza, Himalayas, and then there's one more area you're saying, and then there's another like it's more of like a you. I don't want to spoil it because but you end up in another area and then you end up in the final area. Okay. But like the Himalayas and that other area are they are shorter areas, like maybe 45 minutes, hour tops. Like there's no sub quests or anything to do there. You say you're here at the end after about a dozen hours or so?
I'm in the final. I just got to the final area, so I probably have like if it stays through like the way
like 15 hours.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 3-4 hours in this final area doing all the field work stuff and the mission. So probably like 20. Probably end up being about it currently says like 12 hours and 33 minutes. So.
And you've said you've done everything.
16 to 18. Everything except the mysteries, which are like the really little like dinky.
So yeah, not like a
it's like probably end up being like 18-20 hour game.
Yeah, so I feel like once I am fully exhausted with Path of Exile, which may take a while. I've kept that on my hard drive, and it's taking up precious space.
It's big.
And,
It's a
and
big item.
there is enough there. Like I said last week, when I'm doing the puzzling and kind of like navigating the environment and using the whip, I think there's something there that I kind of like. There's elements of it that like, definitely remind me of like Resident Evil. But Resident Evil has like, I think, better combat than Indiana Jones does. But
In general, like you don't need to engage with the combat. Like I didn't pick up a gun until the Himalayas. Like I did not need
pick up a gun.
I didn't need to utilize a gun at any point.
Bro, I got spotted at one point in the Vatican, and I fucking unloaded my whole pistol into every guy that walked in, and one of them dropped a machine gun type, like submachine gun type thing, and I was blowing people away. I was like, hell yeah! It was like a brief burst. I was like, oh yeah, these guys make shooters. I really appreciate them for like not just doing that. It's a hugely ambitious game. Again, there's things I don't like about it, but there's also things I really did. So I'm keeping it around. I do plan to play through it at some point.
I think once you get through the area after the Himalayas, you can be like, I fucking hate this because there's like 10 minutes of cutscenes. Like,
yeah.
And it's
I
like
did kind of expect going in the type of game it is. Like, there's going to be big cutscenes and stuff. But God, like, I'm sorry. Even if you're a big AAA game and you have the big cutscenes in your story, and you got your voice actors, and I get it. But like, they gotta learn how to start the games faster than they do. Like, you gotta throw me into a scenario to get me hooked on the gameplay as you're doing the story. And so many of these games, and this is a perfect example of it, where you're just like, the game starts with you just walking with a guy and talking, and he goes so slow, and it's just like,
it's funny to hear you say that though, because like I've seen so many people say that like that is like the thing that did hook them.
Oh yeah, we're reliving the movie.
Yeah, like they love the fact that like you redid Raiders, like that, like people seem to really enjoy that like tutorial level.
I just
that's a hell of a drug.
I think that taking that out of it, just these type of games. If Spider-Man was another example, it's like you're doing so much heavy like story setup early on that I'm not having fun, and it's like it turns me off. Like, to a game that like when you get into the gameplay like Spider-Man as well, it's like the gameplay of Spider-Man is actually very fun, but you're just like early on you're not letting me do that enough, and they got to figure out how to just get to the fucking game. And you could build the story stuff as you go along, and I'm actually doing something compelling and fun at the same time. And like, this is, in my opinion, not an example of a game that's figured that out. I don't know what I can't tell you one that has, but like the best games I think lately that like do something like Breath of the Wild. You wake up in a cave, you walk out, you're off to the races, but that is also not super story heavy.
Yeah, and that's one that I'm like, I wish there was a little more fucking direction.
But there's gotta be. I'm sorry, you just gotta get to the fun shit faster. Like when I play a game, it's like so disappointing. Like your first night, you wait for it to unlock. It's 11 o'clock or whatever, by you guys midnight. I want to get a little bit in on this, see how it is, and it's like you're literally spending like the first 45 movie. It's like, come on, dude. Anyways, not to shit on your parade, I'll let you guys chat up.
God damn it, Jeff! We've never done this to you, never ever. We've never been like,
no, yeah, I know
that Jeff loves. And
I mean, like, I think for Jeff, like, it's not a game that works. Like, I don't have any problem with the way the game started,
nope.
or how Spider-Man started either. But
it's just too slow. Like,
I mean, I agree with Jeff.
Bored watching this shit, like.
No.
What? Like, dude, you're playing the scene from a movie. You've seen the movie. Like, what's interesting to it?
Now I get to play through the scene that I've seen.
Minutes of reliving a scene from a movie that probably was like 2 minutes in the movie. I don't get why that's fun.
It's not 45 minutes either.
Dude, it is not. It's in the movie. It's like 2 minutes, and here it's definitely not 2 minutes.
It's not 2 minutes, but it is not. It's not a 45-minute start.
Earl,
Not played it, so
Earl's turned off. He's like, I don't know. I don't want to fight
Earl
with
likes
Jeff
fun
about this.
games. Not this
oh, I do
shit.
want to play.
No,
I just want to sit down and actually have time. But I do feel like as much as I feel like I might be on, but we'll see. I hope we get to play it over the break. My 2 days off.
Yep, be interested to see where you fall on it, Earl. Tony, that was it on your end as well.
I mean, more War Tales. I'm actually really sad.
Fucking Cat Mummy goes on too long.
The War Tales it had a huge expansion come out this past week, but unfortunately, it's not out on Xbox yet, which is where I'm playing the game. So,
No,
fingers crossed that like it actually comes to Xbox at some point in the future. It's just weird that it did not.
yeah, that is strange that they didn't. That they're not keeping them in tandem.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you end up playing anything besides Path of Exile?
What happened?
Did you play anything besides Path of Exile this week?
Just Belatro.
We all know about Belatro.
Wait, what's Belatro? Never heard of it.
Try it out.
Trust me, I heard about it. You'll hear about it when we do game with EPA conversation.
Yes, a couple weeks, so Belatro will be talked about, I am sure. Only other thing I really played was a bunch of Call of Duty multiplayer. They are doing a Christmas event currently. Jeff, has this happened with you when you play? Like, it'll do an update and you come back and all your settings are fucked up on your playlists?
Yeah, I had it happen once, I think, and it was basically that they had activated whatever new like maps, would pertain to like whatever modes. You know what I mean? So I just actually I usually try these. I'll be seeing new maps, but then I quickly go back. Dude, first off, I have not played the game at least a week now. So I didn't know about this Christmas event. Damn it! But I am kill confirmed only now. I am religious about
you
this.
even dropped Team Deathmatch.
Yes, because I'm like, why just play Team Deathmatch when you could play? In my opinion, I think kill confirmed is better. It's kind of just the same thing, but with a little spice,
Yeah, my problem with kill confirmed
is the people not knowing.
If you end up on a team where all they want to do is get kills and they're not confirming or trying to deny kills,
you're leaving points on the board.
Yep. Or they're just like, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna snipe. Well, there's no
good. Yeah,
like unless you have a team that is like willing to run out there and get the tags that are on the other side of the map now, you moron. Stop it. Knock it off. So I put Team Deathmatch in there to spice it up for once in a while, just in case. So the Christmas event they have going on right now is when you get kills, not every kill, I don't know how exactly it works, but they'll drop like these little elves. And it's kind of like a dog tag, and you pick it up, and then like as you collect them, they then become a currency that you can use to unlock like new weapons or new perks or like stuff like that.
Like Christmas themed stuff.
So there was Christmas. Yeah, I haven't opened anything yet. So there was another event that just ended, and that was all Christmas themed stuff. So like, your little what are those? Your little nameplate could be Christmas themed, or you could have loading screens that are Christmas themed, or your guns could have like Christmas wrapping paper.
I gotta get back into this.
And so I don't know what's in this event. I just know that like you pick up these little elves and their currency, and then you use those elves to buy. Like there's you go to the event page, and there's a bunch of presents that are wrapped, and like so if you pick up the one in the top corner, like it costs 5 elves, and if you spend it on that, it'll unlock whatever's underneath that, and it kind of tells you what it is. Like, so if you want the weapon, it's 50. You need 50 of these elves, but if you want like the little nameplate thing, it's only 5. So I'm wondering if they're all Christmas themed. It says it's holiday themed, and since they're all wrapped, I'm assuming they are. So it's kind of cool. And also they've turned Nuketown. It's called Holiday Nuketown currently. So they've added snow and added Christmas lights, and it's kind of neat to run in there. But also you have to play the Nuketown variant. So my problem with that is like you end up with some of the objective based stuff that I don't want to play.
Yeah, I hear you. Have you prestiged?
No, I'm level 30, 38, 39 now.
I think I might have been. I thought I was like level 40 or something. Again, it's not like I quit, but I definitely. It's not my recent rotation. It's not on my home screen. That's for fucking sure. It's basically just been Balatro and Path of Exile, but I still really enjoy it. I still have that downloaded. I have these games just taking.
It's another huge one.
Massive. Yeah.
I will probably play until I prestige, which I think is level 55. So
it's cool though. Like
it is.
Like that Christmas thing. It's like, oh man, I've been missing out. I should have come. Like they are really like play. I mean, I get that this is like a thing in games now, so obviously nothing new.
Yeah,
but it's neat that Call of Duty love Christmas shit. That's man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Earl, you still play Fortnite regularly?
Yeah.
Are they doing their Christmas theme thing?
They started their actually 3 things. They started to set a map for usually in the winter. Like half the map is now snowy covered. The other thing they have not started. I think this starts tomorrow. They tend to do like a 70s. You have like a unlock different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the big get this year is they're adding Mariah Carey from All I Want from Christmas Is You into the game.
That's funny.
Yes, apparently I have not seen it. There is an ice block somewhere on the island that's thawing, and it will be revealed that it's her. And then you can unlock the character skin. So.
Oh, that's goofy.
Yeah, I have no idea what the game is anymore, but there you go.
Yeah,
you love it. You love it. You can't get enough of it.
Oh, I enjoy the game. I just being like marketing that to somebody, being like, yeah, like they're adding Godzilla in like 2 weeks, but until then, Mariah Carey's gonna be unfrozen so that you can unlock her, and also Baymax is shooting the gun. So
it's pretty wild that you'll be able to you'll be able to play Fortnite as Mariah Carey.
Yes,
The game has just lost all meaning.
You could team her up with Ariana Grande and I want to say Lady Gaga. There's another pop star in there as well.
The Weeknd has skins.
The Weeknd, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. They were all big last season. It's so weird. It's the weirdest ones for me are Aji. I have Bianca Belair and I think Becky Lynch because they had like the 2 WWE skins. It's such a because I keep all my skins on random. Just so I, like at some point you get so many. I'm not gonna say
you can actually utilize them.
Yes, like tonight I ran some games as Shredder, and then I think as Ariana Grande. At some point, like I'm reminded, like, oh yeah, Predator was in this game at some point. Yeah, it's all over the face.
Well, also all over the place is Amazon's new anthology series, Secret Level, which is all animated episodes based on video games. Earl, did you get a chance to watch any of it?
I did. I watched some of them, just so you wouldn't be talking to the air. And you watched all of them, right?
I did. Yes.
Okay, we have to start off with Pac-Man.
Yep, that one I did not like.
It was
Fucking weird.
body horror.
Yeah.
It was so strange. I was like, oh, it's kind of no, I can't even give it credit there. It was weird. I don't know whose idea this was. It was not good. Yeah, no, it was the animation is okay. It's an anthology, so I get no, it doesn't have to be though. Like I don't like that almost everything. And to be fair, I only saw I think 4 or 5 of them, and we'll get to which ones I've seen in a bit. But like they all kind of look very similar. And I thought like the whole point would be to have a style, unique, so that because there's no story in between them. As far as I
No,
can
no,
tell.
they're all individual storylines, and yes, they mostly all do look pretty similar, stylistic. Like I think the Sifu one, which
Was
is
the
another one I
one
did not like, does have a different kind of visual look to it a little bit.
the sequel
And
one?
Spelunky has
Okay, I've not
a
seen
different look.
Spelunky. That one's short. I saw the first one, which is Dungeons and Dragons,
Mhm.
which felt like a pilot for a TV show because it just kind of ends. Well, sorry, it doesn't end. They're standing up against the big bad, and that's when it ends. They're about
Yes,
to fight the dragon. I saw Sifu, which made me think like, oh, I know about this game, but I don't know this game because I didn't really. I mean, I don't know if that's the premise of the game that you die, you get resurrected with more skills.
I believe so. I think it's a roguelike.
Okay, but you I mean, I like the idea like you die, and during your resurrection era or phase, which is honestly seconds in the real world, but it's like years and years of training in that time. And I like that he aged like 60 years, and spoilers by the end of that show. Um, I will say of the ones I watched, my favorite, and I think because it was so basic, was Mega Man.
Mega Man was fun. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cute.
Yes. It was cute. Very simple, very basic. It was a tease at the end, but I'm like, yeah, this works out. You got Dr. Y, you got Dr. Light, you got Rock. He's going on his quest. There you go. Easy peasy. Pac-Man gonna give me nightmares for years to come.
Oh God.
It is so I think we talked briefly about it last week. Jeff mentioned that it was shown at the Game Awards. The new Pac-Man game. What was it called?
Shadows. So I think it's like I can't wait to play that fucking game.
Yeah, it's a a Metroid type game. Shadow Labyrinth. That is what this episode in Secret Level is
Oh, that's what you guys are talking about. I
based
just stepped
on.
away for a second.
Yeah, and it is nightmarish. You're absolutely correct, Earl. It's so weird.
Yeah.
What was the other one that you watched?
So it's Mega Man, Sifu, Dungeons and Dragons, and Pac-Man. So it might have been those four.
Okay.
I wanted to check out Concord, but I think I ran out of time before the show started. Just to see
Concord.
again, I think Concord would just be funny because again, I don't really, and I think I want to check out Spelunking, and I would do that. But yeah, I mean, the positive, the overall positive is as far as I can tell, nothing here is over like 20 minutes. I think
Yeah, they're all very short.
at most like 15 minutes. So they're very
Spelunky, I
easy
think,
to
is
get,
6 minutes long.
so they're very
I
easy
heard
to
there's a
really
longer
get.
one that is good, and I don't think it's any of the ones that you mentioned, Earl.
There's a few that are like they are all under 20 minutes. Nothing goes past 18, I think.
Okay. What's some of the other ones that you guys did not mention just there?
So Earl, you mentioned
Concord,
Dungeons and Dragons, Sifu, Mega Man, and Pac-Man, right?
Yeah.
New World, which is I think an MMO. That one is about a king that
Amazon
crash lands. Yeah, it's an Amazon game. They crash land on this island and basically like you die. Like you can't die on this island. So like you die, but you are you respawn back where you started. It's cute enough, I guess. Fine. Unreal Tournament. I really like that one. It was it kind of puts these robots against.
I think that was the one I heard was like really good.
It's really neat. That these robots, like they're fighting in this gladiator tournament against other people, and like we're trying to squash the robot rebellion, but they're doing it like live on television, and the robots are learning as like you're supposed to kind of sympathize with the robots by the end of it, and the people running the Unreal Tournament are they're bad, they're bad people, they're painted as the villains. And ultimately, the robots kind of like overtake the game center and are able to revolt. Basically, it's very well done. I think it looks neat, but as Earl said, they all kind of look the same. Warhammer 40K, that one I think has a very cool visual style. Warhammer is really neat looking. There's just no story here. Like it's just combat. Them fighting against these like these weird kind of space creature things. Pac-Man Crossfire, which is I think none of us played it. I think it came out last year, and I think it's already gone.
Oh, so it's with Concord.
It's fast.
Yeah, not as fast as Concord, but yeah, that one's a neat like action because it kind of like Modern Warfare type thing. You're following a group of mercenaries, and another group of mercenaries are trying to evac a like high value target. It's like really good action, but it's whatever. Armored Core has one. That one I thought was really neat. They got Keanu Reeves to be the main character. Tells a pretty neat story. Looks cool. Jeff, you'd have to watch it to let me know if that's how Armored Core actually plays. 'Cause if it is, I'd be like, that's fucking awesome. But
Armored Core plays how you think it plays. It's pretty, but it did like 5 or 6 missions in, and it got pretty hard.
Yeah, it got real hard. Yeah,
and I think I deleted it at some point to make space. I was just like, whatever. I thought it was neat, and like. If you didn't say it was from software, you might not know. Like it just feels like the
cool mech game.
Again, I think I compared it to like it just feels like something like Battle Tanks, which is like super action oriented. Like complete a level. Here's your mission: kill these 3 things. In some ways, kind of like a fight combat game. It's just like blow these 3 things up. That's your mission.
The Outer Worlds had an episode. I thought that one was pretty good. So it's a bit depressing at the end of it, but if you guys remember anything about the Outer Worlds, like the way the world there exists, there's no good choices in that world, and everything kind of sucks. Although it all looks really neat. This one's pretty funny. It has some decent writing to it. Ends on a kind of like a depressing note, but getting to that point, pretty funny. Earl said Mega Man already. That one was fun. Exodus, which is a game that's not out yet. It is. I think they just revealed the gameplay trailer for it today. I thought this short was really good. Tells a really cool story, and sets up. The animation for this was done by Blur, who has done a bunch of like cutscenes and stuff.
I think they did all of them, didn't they?
Not all. Like, there's another one. Ilsorium has done some of them, and
okay.
In fact, I don't see Blur. Blur did the Warhammer one and the Unreal one. Yeah, they're not all done by the same studio. Digic Pictures did a couple.
Okay.
Axis Studios. Yeah. So a few different ones. Exodus looks really cool though. I watched the gameplay trailer today. It kind of looks like Mass Effect, and it's by Mass Effect, but by BioWare and Bungie veterans. It's like a studio that's filled with those people, so kind of excited for that game. And if it matches what they do in this short, I think could be pretty cool. Spelunky, I really like that one. It's cute. It is only like 6 minutes long, I think, but it tells a really like neat story that ties into the kind of roguelike nature of that game. And like you'd think, oh, that this doesn't make sense. Like how are they going to make Spelunky into something that works? They do a pretty good job with it. Concord, that one super fun, and the fact that they decided to make a game, kind of like Overwatch ish, makes zero sense because what they build here is like kind of this cool heist crew, like criminal enterprise type thing, and it's a fun episode. Cool kind of like action. The characters are fun, and they like have quips and shit, and then you realize that Concord was a fucking Overwatch type hero shooter.
For like a week.
You didn't know because nobody knows anything about that game.
That's true. It's already gone. So
Yeah.
I can't believe I got an episode of this show. It's so weird.
I mean, it's very much, it's such a weird eclectic mix because, like, yes, I mean, Amazon has a game or two. It's like games coming out, games that were coming out, and then games like, I mean, when was the last time we had a new Mega Man or
that one's super weird, right?
It's been right, hasn't there?
It's been a while for Mega Man.
Would have been 12.
Yeah, we had that Mighty number 9, which was like Secret Mega Man.
Number 9's almost a decade old.
11. The last Mega Man game was 11, and that was 2018.
Yeah, okay, so that's a while now, but yeah, it's still sort of recent.
That wouldn't even be this generation.
And then the one before that was Mega Man 10 was 2010. So
yeah,
it's not dormant, but it's not not actively worked on.
But it's like I mean, honestly speaking, if we all came up with 10 unique IPs to put in an anthology, I don't think we would have hit on half of this because it's not what I would think of.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's really like weird grab bag.
There was one called Honor of Kings. I don't know what the hell that is.
That was the second episode. I'm like, what is this?
Tony knows what it is. It's one of Tony's
Absolutely
games.
not. I don't know anything.
I did look it up. It is a MOBA, which I don't think any of us play.
Oh,
it's a MOBA on mobile.
Yeah, it's that too. It's a mobile MOBA.
Yes. Okay, that's why none of I don't know what that is.
I don't think we play MOBAs to start with, but yeah, the fact that it's on mobile definitely isn't helping things.
So yeah, again, I assume part of it was, and this is what I was going to say earlier. It's like it seemed clearly some companies pay to kind of for marketing, but from the ones I've seen, like none of them really market the games. And I don't mean like at the end, like here's the truth. Like I don't know. Again, maybe because of the ones I saw, I don't care. Like there's nothing that's like, oh man, now I want to play a Mega Man game. Definitely not playing a Pac-Man game after that.
I am, but yes, that was nightmarish.
But yes, I'd play a Pac-Man game. I'm not gonna play a Pac-Man game because I saw that.
Right. And the last one was it's called Playtime. It's a Sony one. It's like a PlayStation centric one. You could remove all the PlayStation shit from it though, and it would also be fine. Like this girl, she's a bike courier, and in this world they've gamified everything. So like you doing your job is kind of gamified, and if you do a good job, like you'll get an unlock for your bike or whatever. And so she like delivers the package at the beginning, and she unlocks a new skin for her bike. And then some shady dude like gives her a new package, and it's that's not how you're supposed to get packages in this world. And turns out it's like this creature thing that fights against the system. And as she's trying to escape with this thing, like Kratos shows up because the little robot with her is trying to stop her from breaking away from the system, and is just like manifesting all this weird PlayStation shit like a Colossus. The Helldivers show up, but you could remove any of the PlayStation shit from it and it would probably still work. You could put anything there. So like I don't even think it really sells PlayStation either, Earl. It's just like
Sells nothing. It's just a complete waste.
Here's some PlayStation shit, I guess. I don't know. It was neat idea. I don't know how it did. Like I didn't see a ton of people talking about it. So I don't know if we'll get a season 2, but very strange. Some are good, some not. That's generally any anthology series, though. So. All right. Well, I think that's it for us. This might be our last one for the year. Looks like
no.
Yeah. Well, because it's day after Christmas next week. I don't know what you guys are doing. If you're around, we can
No
record.
idea.
But
No idea.
Yeah.
People were asking me, "Are you recording?" I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, before we wrap, is anybody going to see the Blue Blur this weekend?
No.
not this weekend, but we may go see it on Christmas Eve. We normally go to a movie.
I was debating that. I don't know.
There's just no. I want to go see a movie because I actually am on vacation next week, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I looked at the movie lineup. I'm like, there's
rough.
none.
It's rough.
It's like I guess there's Nosferatu, but like I could totally wait for that at home. Like it's nothing. I'm like,
and maybe. I mean, it's not where I pay attention to, I guess. But yeah, I don't know a lot of Oscar movies right about now because it's right. Like
Christmas Day. I'll be one day.
Yeah, because they
They
have to be
normally
out
hit
at the end of
Christmas
the
Day.
year, so they hit kind of around this time.
everyone just watch Carry On Netflix again. We'll be good.
It's on my list to watch this weekend.
It's fun, but I don't know if
I'm
it's
assuming.
like,
Earl, did you watch it?
yeah, I was so.
Yeah, I think everybody watched it like right away. I think
enjoyable,
dude.
But I will just warn people because I was not warned. If you are like me and you partake in Whamageddon, which if you don't know,
is that in the?
It is in the movie. It is.
What is in the movie?
That's
The song
by Wham.
Yeah,
it's the song that plays during the car chase.
Oh,
but if you don't know what
Whamageddon
is, it's you go as young as possible from December 1st to December 24th without hearing Last Christmas by Wham.
Yeah.
Specifically that verse.
Hey, they used it in a very good spot.
Did they?
Is that what got you tossed, Earl?
No, it was not actually what got me tossed. I got tossed the day before because one of my friends on Instagram posted a story with it. And by the time I read it, I'm like, God damn it. Because I almost got whammed at the supermarket because I caught myself singing this song. I'm like, why am I singing this song? And it was on, but it was a cover. So covers don't count. It's only specifically the version by Wham. But yes, my friend posted on Instagram and he's like, oh, I don't know what happened. Why are you mad? I'm like, God damn you.
The thing that cracked me up about Carry On is like once every year there's like this big dumb fucking movie that I just fucking love and rave about. And I think last year was that movie Plane with Gerard Butler.
Yeah, it was fun too.
Fun. And as soon as I saw this one, I'm like, this is just such a safe bet to like tell all your coworkers to watch and this and that. It's not like, I'm not coming to them with like an art house thing that I'm not sure how they're going to react because oftentimes they get, that was boring or whatever. I was like,
or
Carry
one of our
On
obscure horror films.
if we carry on, I'm like, this is just such a sure bet because it's a fucking blast. And I'm like, I got 2 of my coworkers to like watch it immediately, and they both came back to me like, that was pretty silly, dude. It was like pretty far fetched. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a big, dumb, fucking stupid, like Die Hard airport fucking movie. Like, yeah, it's far fetched. Like, I don't like, did I sell it incorrectly to you? I didn't say it was like fucking best picture. I mean, I don't know, man. It was so much fun to me that it's gonna probably make my top 10 list. It's stupid, but like also like I thought that like it really did like really good suspense for like long portions of it, and like really I thought came up with like creative things like, and you got Jason Bateman as like the fucking chip chewing bad guy. It's so much fun, dude. Like I don't know, Earl. I feel like I'm like a lot of people seem to enjoy it, but I'm like the one that's like, this is great. Like I finished it and I wanted to watch it again. That's how fun it was for me.
Well, go watch Carry On then. It's on Netflix. Big recommend from Jeff. So.
I mean, pretty much everyone has seen it at this point. I'm surprised you have not seen it yet. Like, it was like the number 1 movie like within an hour of being posted.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it until you texted me about it the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, have you seen this? I was like, maybe I heard about it. And I was like, nope, I hadn't heard about this.
No, yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
No, I just took your word for it.
Okay, all right.
One thing I will say, which I think is funny, and maybe because I just grew up with him, and I just don't take Jason Bateman as a serious threat.
I just love his vibe. I love his vibe, and he's doing the vibe from Ozark here. We're just like, that's how the world is. Yep. And I'm moving along. Like that sort of thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like not the kind of like the nonchalant villainy, I guess. I don't know. I really enjoy that. Terry Richardson's great in it, and again, I think there's enough like clever, like stupid yet clever things, and it's just operating on that like
stupid fun.
Early 90s level.
I think it could have trimmed like 20 minutes.
I didn't feel any of it. I was so locked in.
I don't think any of it's wrong. I just feel like it could have trimmed 20 minutes.
Trim the first, like I would trim that out of maybe the beginning of the movie, like the first 10 minutes. But after that, I was just like, we're off to the races. Like,
because I mean, I think not that it's hard. I do think 2 hours is pushing 2 hours. Again, action movies like nowadays.
A lot of bathroom meetings.
Yes, and I feel like they did not take a ton of use of making it like Christmas Eve, which is like it's Christmas Eve. Like I never feel like the airport's that busy.
I do love this is in the trailer when they're like pulling people aside to like wave the wand over them and shit or whatever. Like, is it because I'm Muslim? Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm white? Like,
yes, and
it had a fun sense of humor to it. Like, I don't know.
How long is it, Earl?
It's just under 2 hours.
I mean, Die Hard.
It's exactly, dude. It is one of those movies. This could have been Die Hard 2.
I like Die Hard 2.
I think it's better than Die Hard 2, honestly. Like
Die Hard 2 is already set at an airport, but
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not funny. Everyone's like, "It's Die Hard set in an airport," and I caught myself saying it several times. So I was like,
Die Hard 2 was set in an airport.
Yeah. It is Die Hard 2, but better, I think. Like, I don't know.
Die Hard 2 at an airport on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will give it a watch this weekend.
It's fun.
Maybe we'll have an episode. Maybe not. We'll see how we feel. But if we don't, have a great holiday. And we'll be back. I don't know, at some point. Jeff,
see you next year.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Good night.